So you and I drink occasionally.
Yeah, we like to drink. I just cracked a beer when you said it.
Like we're casual, if not alcoholics.
Yeah, we're casual alcoholics, okay?
But one thing we don't do that I'm so happy about, because someone talked to me in this way recently, and it drives me crazy, is when people talk about alcohol like they're people and have relationships with them and use only the human name versions of it. So, in instance, if I was to be like, hey, what are you drinking there?
PBR?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, usually, me and Jack are pretty good friends, but recently we don't get along. Like when people do that and they're talking about Jack Daniel's whiskey.
I get the Jack Daniels, but it's like I hate when they go, me and Jack get along.
Yeah. Like when
I never say I get along with a drink.
No. And then the wild ones, like Jack, them calling it Jack like a human name I can't get, because you order a Jack and Coke. Like that's a thing.
And also I know exactly what that means.
Yes. But today was told about Jim. And so when someone says like, oh yeah, drank some last night, me and Jim had a good time, I am assuming it is
your friend,
your lover. Yes,
your lover.
That's just my initial instinct. But no, he's talking about Jim Beam.
Jim Beam. Okay, Jim Beam.
Which Jim Beam is not, like it is a name, but it's not. That is the name of
If you were to say
thing.
Jim, I would never think Jim Beam. Unless you go, man, I got really fucked up on Jim. But even then I'm like, you suck a lot of cock?
Hope he tipped you. Like, yeah,
it's like Jack makes sense, but also it's a name, so I do get that. But the Jim
I don't like
is
the along. I get along though with any of them.
I'm trying to think of other ones.
Like if you call Jack your friend by saying you enjoy drinking Jack Daniels, I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah,
so
I enjoy
much.
my friend Jack. So are you talking about your buddy? Like it's weird. It's weird when you make alcohol a person. That might be when you're an alcoholic.
When it's your friend.
Yeah.
That bottle of alcohol.
Yeah, because I like alcohol, but I don't ever go, oh, can't wait to pour myself
Hey, buddy, let me get my lips on you.
Yeah, the friendship is, but a ton of people do that though.
Yeah.
Man, there's a lot of like other whiskeys that have like names.
Sure.
Like I can't, like, is there like an Elliot or like a
Elliot Smith is something.
Elliot Smith or something like that?
Maybe.
I'm thinking of something I can't think of what the name is right now.
Sure.
But there's other ones where it's like you could do that.
Johnny Walker.
Yeah. What if you say Johnny? I don't know if I would get Johnny Walker.
That would be a big stretch. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's if you call alcohol as your friend and by name,
that might be a bad sign.
You might need to like check yourself before you wreck yourself.
But also, if you do that, just don't talk to me about it, because I hate that kind of stuff.
Don't email us about it. That's why we're talking about it, because somebody emailed us. I'm just kidding.
At moistmondaypodcast@gmail.com.
People should email us though.
About it, we're lonely
because we won't respond.
Yeah, we'll read it though, and we'll text each other about it, but we won't text you back.
Really excited.
And we're really sorry about that.
But hopefully you're sipping on some of your friends while you're listening to this. And this is the Moist Monday podcast. Happy fucking May.
Let's go.
It's gonna be May.
We made it.
Whoa, I like that.
Right?
That's a good one. Let's get into it.
So I want to know another thing that drives me crazy.
Oh yeah, Jacob's just fucking ranting and raving.
So I am very much under the mindset of, if someone does something for you but you didn't ask for it, and then they bring it up later.
Oh, it's like you owe me. It's a you owe me.
I will never prefer you do something for me if
ever
you
again.
ever fucking do that.
So what? I mean, you don't want to say names, but like,
No,
what?
I can bring up a specific.
Oh yeah, let's hear the example.
So I went to a gas station with some people and I was going to buy a donut. And I was like, oh, don't bother. I'm getting some. And like he held up that he had a box of like a different donut. And I saw in the box that it was like jelly filled. I was going to get a cream filled.
Okay.
Like a Long John.
Yeah, yeah.
And he like got the round jelly filled. I was like, oh, that's all right. I want this. And he was like, and like he brought up along the lines of like, well, this is free. So why don't you want this?
Oh, so he was offering his donuts.
No, he's saying he was buying a couple of them for all of us. I was
Okay,
like, well,
no, but
those
you're
are
like-
my favorite.
yeah, you're like, I
so
want
I'm
this
like,
cream
do this one. And then so I put mine back because I felt bad.
You put it back.
Yep.
I mean, jelly filled is better.
Then cream filled, I don't think so.
100%.
My thing is I don't dislike jelly filled at all.
Cream filled sucks.
My go-to is a cream filled
Why?
Long John. Like a cream filled Long John. This one has a drizzle on it. It's like a fancier gas station. It's like a shop and go or no, not that.
Okay.
But it's like a tobacco outlet kind of thing.
So what was?
So it doesn't seem like it would be fancy, but this one is really nice for
So
some
what was
reason.
the topping?
It was like a white drizzle
So okay, just white drizzle, nothing else.
over a Long John with chocolate icing. Yeah. And like that
But it was cream filled?
very good.
No.
His was like a round
Yeah,
chocolate
that's how
covered.
the jelly filled come,
Yeah.
and they're fucking so much better.
That's not what we're talking about.
No, but I'm like getting angry now.
Why? All right. If we're talking best donuts, it's Krispy Kreme normal glaze.
No, but we're
It's
talking about
number one,
filled
though.
donuts
All
right
filled
now.
donuts, I will always go cream over jelly. I understand.
I work at a bakery, dude.
Oh, that's true. You made donuts.
Yeah, and they all came frozen.
Oh, so you didn't make donuts. You just let them thaw.
Well, we
You
have
just
to
hung
bake
out,
them.
you hung out with donuts.
Well, we have to decorate them.
Oh, that's nice at least.
Well, dude, like some of my friends say, I just hung out with dough.
Oh,
First name
right,
basis. Yeah. Okay, go back.
He
to your
gave me
story.
that nut. Second name basis. It'd be like if I just referred to bean.
But they are also filled.
That's
so
true.
you're getting a double nut
There you go.
when you eat it. That's why I don't like cream filled. It's too much like cum.
Yeah. I don't
That's
think
probably
it's-
why you like
I don't
it.
think it's enough like cum.
You're like, this is what a penis looks like? I wish. I wish it was
Nom, nom,
fucking breaded.
That would be better.
Like a hot dog?
No. I would much rather like a donut.
Where it's just soft and you're mushing it?
Over a hot dog, a bun of a hot dog? Yes.
I don't know. I bet somebody has done it. But I would love like...
So many people have done it.
No, but I would love like if a photographer was into like sexual things.
Yeah.
Just boners in a hot dog bun with ketchup and
I'm
mustard.
sure that exists for you, bud.
I don't want to see it, but I think it'd be hilarious.
You're gonna look it up, especially when you listen to this
Yeah,
again.
when I edit
Yeah.
it, I'm gonna look it up and I'm gonna go,
That's exactly what I
But
thought it would
also-
look like.
not as cool as I thought.
Sure.
Because I think that would be funny.
I think that's every dick. It's just like it's fine.
Yeah, and then it probably like is like, well, that one didn't quite make it to the end of the bun.
That's true.
All right, quit talking about dicks.
All right,
we
well,
always
yeah.
do.
It came quick this
Fuck.
time. But either way, so like, and this guy has brought donuts to work too and then offered it to me. And there's only like 4 of us who work there.
Yeah.
So like,
Small
if
group,
there's
yeah.
5 donuts, I'll take one.
Yeah,
And-
everybody gets one.
And not feel bad about it. But then I'll sometimes just go in to that place before work and get myself a donut and a coffee and then go to work.
Yeah, just for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what normal people
But
do.
then he'll see me do that, and he has brought up, and he'll say like, not to be an asshole, but you know, I've brought in donuts for everybody before.
Oh my
and
God.
I just go, yep, because I would rather him never buy me. Also, I don't like people buying me shit, especially like casually.
Well, but also he didn't casually. You could have bought your own, but you put it
But
back.
he's bought donuts
Okay,
before
yeah,
too.
yeah.
That was just one
so he's doing
occasion.
it so somebody
specifically.
else will do it. So then
I
there's like
don't-
breakfast every day.
Yeah, he's like trying to start
a breakfast club.
yeah, but like I
But also
would-
he's buying donuts that you don't like.
they're fine. They're good, but they're just not my preferred. But also, I've never asked. Nor have I ever like because he gives me food all the time, but like
Which is fun.
yeah,
if
but
you
like
don't bring it up.
because he'll have like a tray of cookies and he'll walk over to me and just like put it in front of me.
Of course you're gonna go, yeah, I'll take a cookie.
yeah, but like
It's just-
I never have like seen food and be like, hey, can I get a piece of that?
no.
So I hate the idea of now I am expected to also do that.
He's trying to.
I want nobody to buy me anything
then
if they
just-
ever expect
So
me to
now,
buy them
so now
something.
you feel weird if he brings in donuts for everybody. You're like, well, I don't want one then.
But then also, then he'll be like, "Oh, I guess I'll throw this away then."
And then you're like, well, don't throw it.
Yeah,
I will eat it.
Yeah.
Like that's fucked up. Dude,
It-
so it's tough when you work in such a small area with 4 people because nobody knows
Mm-hmm.
or everybody knows. I remember when I worked at my first carpentry job. There was like 30 people on the floor.
Sure.
Plus office people. So, but occasionally people would bring in breakfast and like there'd be like muffins
Yep.
or something. And it'd be like, oh, cool. But it'd first come, first serve.
Yeah.
Sometimes not everyone would get one.
and that's fine.
Or they'd bring in donuts and that's fine. Or someone would bring like old Halloween candy.
Sure.
It's just free for all.
Yeah.
But no one, it's never like, oh, I bought this. And then
Yeah.
it's your turn.
Yep. Because
Occasionally.
don't ever do that.
But occasionally, like I'd be out with some of my friends, like, and we'd go out and it'd be like, oh, well, I'm already at the register. I'll get it for you.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, oh, thank you, dude. And then you sometimes I go, oh, I'll get you back next time. But
Sure.
they're not, I call those people scorekeepers.
That's fair.
Wes taught me that. It's like people that expect something in return always. And they, dude, if I'm like, because I've been out of the bar sometimes and I'm like, oh, I'll get it. Or, like, or you go out too and I'm like, oh, thank you, dude.
Yeah.
But like, I don't be like, oh, you owe me.
That's also a little different too, because we are like the catch you next time between friends is something else versus coworker brought in food.
Yeah, bringing in the food is like, it's not like
you decided to do that.
Yeah, you decided to be nice, which is awesome. But if you're gonna keep bringing it up, don't be nice, because that means
then it's not nice.
Because then it's not nice. You're expecting, dude. Yeah, there are a lot of scorekeepers in life.
Yeah,
like it's like, well, I did this for you. Yeah, but I didn't ask you to.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Or people that like do stuff like that and you don't do it back and then they get mad at you. That happens to me all the time, and I'm like,
just don't do the thing.
Like I'm not trying to be an asshole.
Especially because
I thought you were being nice.
Also, sometimes like you let the person do the thing because you can tell that they want to feel nice.
Yeah, and you're like
that is so common.
And I'm never gonna be like, oh, you're offering to pay? Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm fine with the like. Also, I'll be like, you don't have to, and they're like, no, it's okay. And then like, all right.
Especially then where you've rebutted, then it should never be brought up.
That's you. You want to do this because you want to feel that good, and I don't want to prevent you from feeling that good.
So how many times has he brought in donuts?
I would say 3 to 5.
So he probably brought in donuts, and the first couple of times he's like, okay, but then he's like, no one else is doing it. You know,
and then he sees me bring in one donut. He's like, "Where are the rest of them?"
Because he was like, "You went to the store." But I would never say something.
No,
I would just be like, "Oh man, I wish you would have got me one."
Yeah, I wish that kept going.
But I wouldn't. I'd be like, "Oh, I mean, you brought in." Like that would.
I never want
people that confront you about that shit drives me nuts.
It's insane.
Like I'm just like, you just want me to hand you money right now? Like,
what we're doing?
But then they go, no. It always makes me think of the episode of The Office where Andy buys people gift cards
because he's excited for the IOU.
The IOU, and it's like, no, I'll help you, and it's like, I hate those.
I think it's Dwight who does that. And Andy reciprocates immediately,
and he keeps giving it back. Yeah, I hate people that are scorekeepers, dude. I just like, I also can't remember things. So like, if you might have bought me donuts 2 weeks ago, I don't fucking remember.
Yeah, and also I didn't want it.
The fact that you didn't want it,
I hate it because it was just there.
Exactly,
and not even there. That it was presented to me.
So,
and it would be rude to be like, no.
When there's like 5 donuts and there's 4 of you, so that means there's one extra.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the person who bought it gets the second one.
I think it just sits there.
Or he just throws it away.
I don't know. It might sit there till tomorrow. Because I will never take a second, if not, unless like 3/4 of the seconds are still left.
Sometimes at my old job, if there was like, seconds were there in the afternoon.
Like if there's 8 slices of pizza and 5 people, I won't immediately go for the.
But if it's sitting there for a while, yeah.
If people are,
I don't like taking the last one.
No.
Yeah.
You just
if
feel like an asshole every time. I don't take the first one. I don't take the last one.
Yes. It's just, I don't know, common courtesy, I guess.
But also, I will say, the people that work next to us, because it's like a metal shop. I think they do roofing or something.
Oh, you guys are in like a kind of like a strip mall kind of or building?
Not really. There's just one person.
Another warehouse.
We share a connected like pad outside. But yeah, it's 2 warehouses. Okay. So I'm guessing someone probably built both of them together. But I think they own the pad. But we borrowed their forklift for something because we had to lift something heavy upstairs and we didn't want to do it.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah. That's kind of nice. You have.
So then the next day, my boss is like, all right, just so you know, don't bring lunch. I'll buy everybody pizza. And so we bought like 4 pizzas, and there's 4 of us who work at the shop, and there was like 3 of them who came over, and they all took 1 piece and then left. Like it was very obvious that they didn't want this gift.
But they were like, "Oh, thank you," but what? Yeah, So then you just had so much left.
Yeah, we had like 2.5 pizzas left.
So they're just sit in the fridge, and you can eat it next day for lunch.
No, I think he took them all.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, that's what I would do if I bought it.
Yeah, and that's like my meal for the next 2 weeks. Yeah. But no, it was so funny because he was just like, "Oh, I bought so much pizza," and then I was just like, I guess I'll eat a 4th piece and just be miserable just to make you feel better.
I remember. So a lot of this, like, because you work in a shop, is reminding me of my first carpentry job. So I'm like reminding of stories.
Like shop politics is so weird.
It is wild
because
it's all just working class dudes.
Well, and also like I only work with guys at the shop. Like I've been at places where there are girls, but usually, like honestly, at my welding job, the ratio of men to women was like probably 1 to 100.
No, exactly, dude. At my first carpentry job, there was like one chick, and she was there for a while and then quit.
Yeah.
And then there was a few chicks that work in the office. And then at my other job,
the office had a few. And then the paint room had a good amount.
And then there was one chick at my other carpentry job that just was in the finish room, and she was by herself in the finish room, and that was it. But it's like, Yeah, it's mostly dudes, and dudes are like dudes, you know?
Because like I feel like the reason for that is like one, men do tend to go to the trades more, but also, and like they are making an effort to get women in the trades because
they're trying to.
It's good money and all that. And like I worked with like a welder and she was way better than me. Yeah. But then my teacher made a sexist comment about her. And like that's what probably really is like, not that like they can't succeed in it. It's that like they don't want to be around these fucking people all the time.
Yeah, I know how it was, dude. I was in the mud with the men, and it's like we're disgusting. Yeah. And we say fucked up shit because we know it will make the other people laugh.
But also like
But some people are saying
what these 50-year-old dudes are saying to these girls, like girls who are younger than me. I'm just like, what are we doing?
Well, and also
here?
there was a few times in my old job where like the older people, like 50 plus, would drop the N-word. And they would just say it casually.
I have a story about that.
Yeah,
too.
and it's just like, whoa.
All right, I have a story
and
about...
they just like, I like look at them and they go, what?
Yeah. All right, I have a story about that. I have a story about another girl that I worked with at the welding place, but you tell yours.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's how it goes when you're working with all dudes and like these working class dudes. It was just, people just didn't care, and people are just like, these are just working men that just work 40 to 50 hours a week and then go home. Like, that's what they do.
They go home, get a 6-pack on the way home.
Yeah, and drink it on the way home.
Don't talk to their wives or their kids.
Speaking of food, we would have like monthly meetings, you know, where like the company would like bring in food and we would get free lunch and stuff. But when I first got hired there, I was working night shift. So I'd be like 2 to 10, which wasn't bad because I could go to school in the morning. It was actually pretty fair. It was actually pretty cool. But so I'd get there right at the end of the meeting.
2 to 10 is a rough numbers though.
Yeah, but it wasn't bad.
Sure.
And then I would do school of 8 to noon.
Yeah. So then you can still be up till midnight.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. But I biked there.
Oh, sure. Yes. And it was in a weird part of town.
Yep.
So you're biking through that.
And sometimes it would rain.
Because you had to bike past that weird, it's not a strip club, it's a topless diner that's on that road.
Yeah.
I had to
right
deliver,
across the street.
I had to deliver pizza to them once and it was horrible.
Yeah. The what's that place called? I forgot what it's called. But yeah.
It wasn't a strip club. It's just a restaurant where the waitresses aren't allowed to wear shirts.
Yeah.
Why do those still exist?
Because it's by warehouses.
Yeah,
because those people get off work and go there.
It's technically outside of the city.
I think the bar is called Outer Limits.
Yes, it is.
Because it's out of the city. Yeah. Outer Limits.
I had to deliver pizza there, and it was horrible.
So just a topless woman came out?
Yeah, like, or no, she didn't come out. No, but like I had to walk in because I thought it was just a place, and then they were there. I was like, I don't,
no windows.
And then like a cook came in and got it or whatever.
Yeah, fucking weird as hell. But I remember like, because I would work nights, we had so much leftovers from like these company meetings, and they'd always be on Fridays. So then I'm like closing shift or second shift. So I would take home so much food.
A little food goblin.
Because like 4 people worked at night.
Sure.
And everybody else worked through the day. So then it's like,
and they're not going to come back tomorrow for it.
And no one worked Saturdays. Yeah. So I'm like, well, the food's not... Let me take home fucking 10 tasty tacos.
Sure.
You know?
Oh, like it was awesome. If you got like a sub, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Take all the little...
Or I would take home Casey's Pizza. The tasty tacos was always dope. Because it came with like salsa, and I would just like... Even though it was leftovers, I was like, free dinner.
Yeah. There's no shame in that.
Okay, let's hear your story.
All right, do you want to hear the sexist one or the racist one first?
Let's start with sexist. Let's ease our way into the... Let's ease our way into the prejudice.
So there was a girl I worked with, and I think she was learning to weld at the job. So she was probably like a machinist before that.
Okay, yeah.
I think her dad worked for the company too. She was super nice. She was like a little country girl, whatever. Actually, not little. She was taller than me. Like she was probably 6'2".
They're usually always country.
Yeah. And
not stereotypical, but that they are.
Well, I mean, that's what most welders are. And also we live in Iowa.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But like, I saw her training. She's very talented. She did hard work. She'd worked the hours I did, which was often 12-hour shifts.
Yeah, going in at fucking 5 a.m.
Yeah, working 5 to 5.
Fuck that.
And she was able to do that. So a real champ. She's like, she definitely earned her place in this. And then apparently someone made a comment about like looking at her and like I don't even know if she was 20.
Oh yeah, so she was young.
Maybe no, you wouldn't have to be 21 to work there.
No, probably 18.
She was at least below 21 because
she couldn't drink.
Because I think I was like 22 and I was like,
you were
she's
the youngest.
young.
Yeah.
So she might have been 19.
Whoa, yikes. Okay.
And someone made a comment about her.
But I get you around a bunch of 50-year-old fucking angry men.
Well, and that's what these were, yeah. And like someone made a comment about her, and then he got in trouble with HR. And then another guy went to HR and he was like, hey, I have to admit something. I also looked at her. And what? Way worse to do that and then admit it to HR. So he had to go home for like a week. And then she heard reports of like, yeah, this guy admitted to HR to looking at you.
So that means he's probably staring at you.
But like the idea of admitting that it's fucking sane. God. If you have guilt about it, just stop doing it. And like, you just know that's a bad thing you did.
But also like,
it doesn't help admitting that.
Yeah,
she
you
felt
made it way worse.
Everything is worse.
Because I'm sure like everybody at least would probably glance at her because it's like the only
woman in a building.
The only women in, like it's like there were a few women in mine where I was like, yeah, if we were out and about, I probably wouldn't ever notice you, but I notice you now because you're the only girl here, and it's like kind of fucked up, but that's what the culture is. You know, I'm not saying that what he did is good, but that's so wild that he fucking went in post and admitted it. Like what the hell?
Like that's such a weird thing because also like then he got sent home. I was like, all right, so your wife is gonna know you got in trouble at work.
And
Are you gonna tell? You gonna tell her that
mad.
you admitted to doing this? Because it's also like one thing. The girl was probably like his kid's age because he was like in his 50s.
Yeah, married and has kids. Yeah,
yeah, but also like just the idea of like admitting to it, and like he thought it would like
he probably thought in his mind he's like. This is the right thing to do.
Yeah, they'll appreciate the honesty.
No, but that made it everything worse. Jesus
it made
Christ.
it so creepy.
Yeah, because the fact that
means
she
that
heard,
boy was pondering. Like
that means he
sat on it.
He was really thinking about her.
And then
he probably took her home.
God. No, because her dad worked there too. That was the other thing.
Oh, yikes! So then I wouldn't look at her at all.
Right. Like, I don't know if he worked in our building or not, but he was like a higher up in the company.
But the fact that like, oh, you're related to somebody, I'd be like, oh. Even if
also like teenager, I think like insane.
Well, at least an adult.
Yeah.
But still like underage drinking.
But, like,
that's fucked up. What the?
Yeah. The idea of just,
I wonder like how long he contemplated going like, I need to turn myself in.
It was days out. It was, or not days. It was like within a few days of
but
like him.
So he probably sat with that for a while.
Where he's just like, I'm guilty too. Why should this man be sent home and not me?
But they, Jesus Christ.
Because also like,
Jesus.
Inner monologue is completely different. I think that's where like Christians get really like fucked up is that they don't think their inner monologue is private.
Oh yeah.
Because you aren't what you think, but you are what you hear, which is wild. Because like your brain will say things that you don't think, which is so interesting.
Oh, my brain sucks.
Right? Yeah. I mean, that's what like all the mental health shit is.
Yeah,
it's
my
that
brain's
you aren't what you think.
My brain sucks.
And I think Christians get fucked up over that because they think God is a part of that. Because God will judge you for your thoughts.
Which is like wild because I'm like, I didn't mean to think that.
Well,
I didn't mean to think something really bad.
Yeah. Also, like even being like judgy is like it's a inherent thought, and they're like, "Oh, I sinned,"
but it's like
now I need to tell a priest that. I guarantee this man was Catholic.
Oh, you think he went? You think he initially told the priest, and the priest was like, "Well, a good Catholic would tell the boss."
No, because a priest has to be smart enough to be like, "Oh, you're forgiven.
You're forgiven. Maybe keep that to yourself next time."
And stop and say a Hail Mary.
Say a Hail Mary. Is that like what you do when you did something really bad?
Yeah, you'd have to do 20 prayers. He'd say 18 Hail Marys, 10 All Father.
What the fuck are Hail Marys? I just know that from football.
It's Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. I think it's a prayer. So Catholics,
So you have to say that prayer over and over again.
Yeah, that's your punishment while you do rosaries.
Oh, the beads?
Yeah, because I think like the first like 8 beads are one prayer. The loop is another prayer. Like there's a way to do the math of it. My grandma explained it to me, but also she had Alzheimer's, so she explained a lot of things to me and not accurately.
And she'd probably start doing it and then start over, but not really.
It was all night. No, the smartest thing they ever did for that woman was get her addicted to solitaire because that kept the thought continuing.
Yeah, because it's linear.
You don't have to know what you've done, but you'll always know what's next, and you're still completing something.
And I love solitaire. Free cell would fuck her up.
Yeah, probably.
But solitaire, that's
that'd
smart
be rough,
though.
Yeah. What's the one where you have to like match 2 shapes?
Oh,
where you flip the card.
Mahjong or whatever.
What?
No, I'm thinking of the tile game.
Yeah, that's
the Japanese
the
tiles.
dominoes one.
Yeah.
No,
that's a concentration.
Yeah, I'm actually giving her that.
My mom just got back from Japan and she brought back a sushi card game from Japan, and it's basically concentration.
Okay.
But you have to match the fish with the description.
Oh.
So it's like sometimes you flip it over and it goes, "This skin of an eel And then like it's also in Japanese, so I would flip over so many cards multiple times and be like, "What the fuck is kushamedeme?" And I'm like, I couldn't figure it out. It took us forever to play because I was like, I don't know what this is.
All I know is like unagi.
That was one of them.
Yeah, I think that's an eel.
But then I was like, okay, we're matching, and no, it's matching the description.
Yeah.
But then when you put it together, it makes the full fish.
I will admit, when I was showing my niece that, I think she had to be like 2 or 3 at the time, and she was really good at connections. I was getting pumped.
Yeah, because you're like, let's go.
Yeah, like she's smarter.
Well, let's hear about this racist story.
Yeah, okay. So this was with a guy who I really liked this guy.
Oh.
You
did at the time.
He was very, you'll get what I'm saying.
Okay.
He was very redneck, but also like understood it, and he understood how times were changing. He was fighting back on some stuff. None of them wanted the vaccine, but that's whatever.
A lot of people in that industry are very country redneck.
Yeah. And they're pro guns, which you live out in the middle of nowhere, not against it whatsoever.
Live
but
in the
also,
country.
I do remember he says, I have 2 guns in every single room of my house.
What?
You could walk around it and never find one. I was like, I'm positive I could find 1 gun.
Yeah, right. If you let me around alone in your house, I could find 1.
Yeah, because like also, and he was
You have
like
2 in every room?
Yep, and no, and that was his
One's
rule.
under the couch.
He was like, no, it's not. Don't look.
I bet 1 is near where he sits. So if he's watching TV, he can just go. Yeah, I guarantee it.
Because, and like my thing is also,
so many guns.
If you own a gun, why not put 1 in every room? Just if you were in that mindset, go with it.
Yeah, but why do you have to own that many?
Well, I think the idea is, and he told me this is like, depends where I get a break in.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Maybe I need to get a gun for every room in my apartment.
Yeah. There's only 3 rooms.
That's still 3 guns. Still very expensive.
So I think this, and like he had more than just that. So he probably had like over 20 guns. Which,
yeah, because he probably had a house, I'm guessing.
Yeah, you don't have that many fingers, bud. Like, what do you, that just
And
means,
they're all loaded and ready to go?
yeah, and he had kids. So
That's even worse.
he promised they were safely put, but like I wasn't arguing
So
that.
you have 2 guns in your kid's bedroom? He said every house.
That's true. He said every room in the
Or
house.
every room. Like,
Well, if I'm tucking my kid in and a burglar comes in,
yeah, and then you go, pow.
I reach under the crib.
Good night, moon. See you later, bitch.
It's just in the mobile, so it's always pointing at the child,
But I know where it is. It's on the half moon.
putting them to sleep.
Whoa. I mean, I guess that's a brag.
Yeah, I mean, he's succeeding in his world.
It's true.
He
feels safe.
That's something.
He feels safe.
But
And
I
I
think
don't.
statistically, he's a lot less safe.
But I don't feel safe.
That's true. Yeah, that is the thing with these guys is that they're probably happier.
Well, that's because they're not self-aware.
But like,
They're just going through they're working at the warehouse fucking every day for 20 years.
then getting
40
drunk
years.
and reading conspiracy theories online.
Yeah, but then they get angry at the conspiracy theories.
That's true. Yeah, and then they buy a gun.
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably not the best cycle,
Yeah.
but that's
And
the
then they gotta
American
tell
way.
other people about it. Because if they can get people to join.
Or
then
make sure,
yeah.
or maybe he's like, make sure this dude doesn't break into my house.
Yeah,
He
make
knows
sure he's
now.
cool. Make sure tell him about my conspiracy theories. The world's flat.
But this guy was very nice. And also, he was very upfront with telling me, I used to be the most racist person you knew. I'm like, I don't know that many.
Yeah, who am I comparing it to?
Yeah.
My grandma?
Yeah, you're definitely more racist than my grandma. And then he started like explaining things where like he was just like, yeah, there's a kid in my school and his name was N-word, whatever. And
That's
it's
what
like,
he called him?
If you called him just his normal name, he wouldn't respond.
So
Like,
everybody called him that?
I think so.
Jesus Christ.
It's like I think this guy lived in Iowa. I don't know how he had a southern accent, let alone that.
Oh my
No,
God.
it's the different ways people live is wild.
Yeah, well, I'm guessing small town.
Sure, yeah.
But still, that's fucked up.
yeah. And then like he like opened up and like told me like, yeah, I haven't put a noose in his locker once. I was like,
What?
I was like,
You did what?
yeah.
And he goes, no, it was fine. He thought it was funny.
It was a joke. But like he was telling me
Jesus
this as if, and he was like, I'm not like that anymore. And like he was like, I know that's wrong, and I feel bad for it. And I would never do
So he
it
like
again.
had a heart to heart with you. So this guy probably thought you were a friend.
Unprompted.
Oh, he just starts
There's
talking.
no way I asked for any of this information.
I'm sure you just kept going.
Oh damn! Glad you're not
Wow.
like that now. especially since you own so much
And
guns.
you're 20 years old. You have fucking massive hair.
Yeah.
Fucking just a small little kid.
All right. So also, I told one person I had a wig, and then he told everybody.
Yeah, he told everybody.
Like it was a dirty secret. And this is one guy who I was talking to him, and I could tell he was staring at my forehead, and I already knew that this one guy had told other people. So I brought it up. I was like, "Hey, do you know about this?" He's like, "Is it real?" I'm like, "No. I mean, that I wear a wig is real." And then I lifted it up.
Was
for
that the
him.
teapot guy?
No, that was the guy at the old or at the other building.
Yeah, the teapot guy is funny. You talked about that on the podcast.
Yeah, because he's the one who called me long hair after. Like, and that's also how I knew that this guy told a lot of people, because this guy started commenting my hair, and I was like, "What up, short stack?" Like,
Yeah,
and then he got so mad. Because also that's the guy I befriended his son and found out that his other kid like hit his wife.
Yeah, Jesus.
And that I learned all the family tea again, unprompted. I was just a sponge for these people.
Well,
because probably I'm the closest thing to a therapist any of them have ever
100%.
been in.
You're just a sounding board.
Yeah,
You're a sounding board.
I actually let people talk.
Yeah.
Because I wonder what them bouncing off each other is.
Well, they're all so similar, and you're kind of different and alternative and
so
younger.
different there.
You're younger too, so it's like, well, I can fucking let's see what. Dude, when I was at my first carpentry job, I was there for like 6 years.
By the way, the story isn't over.
Oh no, keep going. Yeah, no, you keep going. Yeah, keep going.
So there was one other black man, not that was in the building, but that I actually worked with.
Okay.
Him and I were forklift drivers together at one point, so I actually was like friends with him. Like, it was him and I were the only two for a while until I finally got removed from that job because
Because you're like, I hate driving.
and everyone was like, "You're bad at it." And I'm like, "I know. I didn't ask for
sign up for this. I'm a welder.
I just got my license because they offered it. I didn't understand I would be put in a new building as a forklift driver, because that's where the teapot guy hated me.
Yeah,
because I was a horrible forklift driver. I kept on. I know.
I didn't want to do this.
Yeah, like, this isn't my job. They made me do it for months.
I'm not in any trouble.
That was so funny when my boss got mad at me, and I was just like, I went to school for welding.
Yeah, I'm not a forklift driver.
You made me do this.
I hate it.
I don't want to do, and because I was not good at it. Like, I didn't like really fuck up. Like, so technically I wasn't a bad like, I didn't drop anything.
Or you knock anything over. Yeah.
No, I ran over a box once and people got mad.
Running over a box, I mean, that's pretty bad. Because like you should be aware of your surroundings.
Do you know how many boxes there? I think I backed up into it. A cardboard box. It's fine.
I know, but you should just be around.
And it was full of metal parts. We as a company should
Forklifts are fucking heavy.
Yeah, but we were a good enough company. We should be forklift proof. But either way, so this guy told me, or like, I can't remember exactly what he said, but he brought up like, I feel like he said I even thought about confiding in this coworker about it. I was like, you probably don't need to do that. And he was like, I have before, and he hasn't talked to me anymore. It was like that.
Oh my God.
Like that he told all this to a black man, been like, you like me better now.
Because
right?
I don't do
I'm not that
because
anymore.
Why would you tell him that?
That's like, yeah, that's why this made me think of that, of like, why would you offer that information to a
just
man?
Be like, just
be
in the back of your, be better.
Well, if you like them better now, then just go with that.
Yeah.
Continue.
You don't have to bring up that you used to be a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like,
but like people would just
because
offer,
they're trying to justify in their own head that they are better.
Well, because he knew
I think that's what it is.
Well, because also he knew I was a more liberal person too, because I was younger. Yeah, and like
and you were hip and cool,
and I signed up to get the vaccine there.
and you were covered in tattoos.
Yeah. I wore a wig.
Yeah, and you wore a wig.
Yeah, but like, so I think it was like that's part of it why they offered me this wild shit.
Weird, dude.
Yeah. No, that is part of what I miss working there. Because also, if you work a 12-hour shift, you are trying to have any lengthy conversation you can.
Yep.
Just because if you can get 30-minute chunk eaten up, that is such a win.
Working class job. That's what you'd be like. You just want to you just walk up to be like, and you just want to talk.
So I
would talk to so many older people.
I trigger that so much at my current job because also.
But there's like 4 people.
But if I say one slightly incorrect thing about Star Trek, my next 40 minutes are gone.
So if you're ever bored, just be like,
yeah.
So when does Darth Maul join the desk or the Millennium? Yeah. I'm saying all Star Wars.
Yeah, you can't even do a Star Trek thing, can you?
SS Enterprise.
There you go.
Got it.
USS.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I did just
watch
the
United States.
I did just watch the first 2
New ones.
Pretty good. Actually.
I like them.
They were actually shocking.
They're actually the best.
They were actually shockingly good.
and they're also better than the new Star Wars trilogy, hands down.
And the bad guy was famous.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch. And then the cast is great. The guy who plays Spock is great. I really liked him. I was like,
No, they're great.
I had him on DVD sealed from like Black Friday from high school. Still in my collection.
I think the first 3 are pretty good, and the 4th one's like okay.
But I was like, holy shit.
No, they're good movies. They are better than
Like,
the
I
new
like put
Star
it
Wars.
on like so I could fuck around on my phone, but then I like put my phone
You're
down.
like, oh, shit.
I was like, this is actually good.
Yeah.
But going back to like my carpentry job, I worked there for like 6 years, and there were so many redneck people, like people that lived in the country.
Yeah.
And I became like really like literally at that moment in my life, they were my best friends.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I would hang out with them outside of work.
Sure.
I'd go out drinking. I'd go to their house.
Wow.
And they were like,
you lived with one, didn't you?
well, he was less rednecky, but he still lived in the country. But like, it was so cool, but they were way different. They all had guns.
Yeah.
They all fucking
everywhere.
yeah,
too.
they were so country. They loved country music. They were just true rednecks. And I was this like 21-year-old alternative
And again,
kid.
they're
that had-
happy and
that
they're
had-
having fun.
Had dyed hair.
Sure.
But we were just they would tell me stories of them growing up because they were like 7 or 8 years older than me. You know, so they were about.
Oh, that's it?
They were about my age now when I worked.
Okay,
with them.
I guess I pictured them like old.
No, so they're like 28, 29. They were married though, but didn't have kids. I do
Sure.
remember like going to one of their weddings, and then I remember when they had their first kid. Like we were like best friends.
Because all of mine have always been in their 40s.
Oh,
And
no.
all of them have always made comments of like, I could technically be your dad.
Well, this is why I got along with them because we were still in our 20s. But they would tell me stories about when they were younger and getting fucked up and like doing all this shit. And I'm like, Jesus, you've lived a life, dude.
It is weird how because also
But it's
like,
just wild that I was like, that's not me, dude. But we were friends.
Yeah.
And they like were willing to be friends with me. And I'm like, I don't own a gun.
I don't want to.
I go golfing with them.
God, my coworkers are trying to make me go golfing. I'm just like, I don't like it.
I love golfing.
And
dude.
also that means I have to do something I don't like for several hours.
golfing's fun.
I'm just
You've never been?
no, I've never actually like been to a golf course.
Oh.
But also, if I'm going to golf and have fun, it's going to be with you.
Let's go golfing.
All right.
After you get back from your trip,
Yeah.
and after wait a few weeks,
So we can have some money.
Yes.
Yeah.
because you sneak in beers.
You're not allowed to drink?
Well, you can buy beer there.
Oh. You're not supposed to drink?
No, you can buy beer there, but it's super expensive, so you always sneak it in.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So what we'd always do is we'd go to the golf course near Outer Limits. There's like a golf course right there in Ankeny, and we knew what beer they sold. I think it was Miller Lite, like tall boys.
Sure.
So we go to Casey's
And
get a ton of Miller Lite, and then one of us would buy it. So then
You had an excuse. Yeah.
So then, because they would give you like a cooler with ice,
Oh,
and then we would
cool.
just put beer in our golf bag.
right. Yeah. Because it's not
but
like
also
they
a bunch-
search your golf bag.
No, yeah, and then also you can sneak in fucking little
A flask,
shooters
for
or
sure,
flasks, but then also cigars, like smoking like a Black and Mild while you're driving around the car.
Don't call that a cigar.
But you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we're not.
We
aren't
We
men.
romanticize cigars, but we do not smoke them.
I smoked a cigar. I think it was from Guatemala a few days ago.
Ooh, wow.
It was. I mean, I was.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Did you know it was good, or did someone tell you it was good?
Well, I knew it was better than a Black and Mild.
Sure.
But I was like, Wes
But
was,
was it actually better than
Wes was
Black-
smoking a big fucking real cigar because
Yeah.
he's a man.
Yeah, he's
and he
got
was
that
grilling, and I was
tobacco
watching
cock
him
in his
grill.
mouth.
I was watching him grill, not being a man. And he was like, "You want a cigar?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Do you have any small ones?
cigarillos?
That's what they are. It was literally like a cigarette size.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I think I have small ones like underneath the humidor."
He gave me a full size cigar once. I smoked an eighth of it.
Yeah, exactly. He gives me a few. He's like,
I was like, I'm a
he's like,
puke.
you can have, and I get so lightheaded.
Yeah.
because I don't even inhale them, but it hits me.
But that was another one like where he offered to me. I was going to turn it down, but that was
Exactly.
more because I didn't want him. Like, it's not that I didn't want him to feel bad. It's that I didn't want to look like a bitch.
Pussy. Yeah. And then next time you see me, just go, "You owe me a cigar,
Yeah.
dude."
Shit.
Fuck, I don't even know what's good.
I have smoked one full cigar recently with Jordan.
A
Who was on
real
the
one?
podcast a few episodes ago. Yeah. He once just reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, do you want to go to a cigar bar?" It was more like I wanted to hang out with him.
Yes.
And then so I was like, "Yeah." And we went there. Apparently he knows a good amount about cigars. I was like, I need one for people who don't know what they're doing.
Yes.
And it was fine. I think I smoked the whole thing.
Cigars are awesome.
It's so much.
It is a lot, dude. Because like the big ones, like that's like an hour.
Because the worst part about it, I think, is when you wake up at like 3 a.m.
And your teeth.
And
also, like, you can feel it in your throat.
it's just a coat over everything. Yeah.
And even if you brush your teeth and stuff, still for the next day, you're like,
it's on the back of your tongue.
it's like
Yeah.
smoky.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the? But sometimes I do like the taste, but not the next day.
Yeah, never the next day.
It's always like in the moment when I'm like drinking whiskey or drinking a beer. I'm like, fuck
it's
yeah.
while it's still lit.
I'm a man.
You got the smell going with
and
it.
you're just like, yeah, let's go. I'm a fucking cool dude. Let's pop some guns out.
I can feel that chest hair flowing in.
Yeah, cigars are dope though. But that's what I do kind of miss though about working like a working class job and being a carpenter is the stories.
Yes.
And like the characters, because those people are just living their life.
I mean, my main partner was a QAnon.
Yeah,
and
which
like,
is wild.
And like
those people are
so
just and they just exist.
Yeah, they're paying bills.
And I bet all the people that I've worked with, I mean, a few of them quit, but those people will be at that job forever.
A lot of them
till
will,
they retire
Yeah.
or die.
Yeah, and a few of them might have already.
Yeah, exactly. And you're just like, what the heck?
I do think about that.
There was a guy that I worked with that had cancer like 3 times.
Yeah, I had one too, and then he lit up right out as he walked to his car.
Oh, and he still smoked?
Yeah, and he had a cancer sucks sign on his car
But he still smoked?
nonstop.
Jesus Christ. This guy had like cancer of the intestines or whatever. And like multiple times, and they like had to cut it out so he couldn't drink anymore. Because anytime he drank anything, he'd immediately have to pee.
Oh,
Because like there was no funnel or whatever. Yeah, it sucked. But then he ended up dying.
My coworker had bladder cancer, and when he told me about it and like got into details, I almost passed out. That was like the closest I've been to passing out.
Like while someone's describing it.
Yeah, and also
You're just like, please stop.
Oh shit, I can't remember. I think he said because he also smoked meth.
Okay.
I think strawberry kiwi Gatorade was the best mixer, or like
For meth?
like that. Smoking meth and drinking that was super good.
Dude, some of my
So many of them smoked meth.
So many- yeah, dude.
It's wild.
there were a few people like that I worked with while I was working there that when they were disappeared for a few days because they were on a bender. And they like got together and went and did it. And then a few of my like best friends that I went to their house, they were like, yeah, I used to do it back in the day. I'm like, what the fuck?
And you know what the wild thing is? They won't start podcasts. They will not tell their story.
And they have incredible, like, dude, I worked with them for years, and every day there'd be a new story, and sometimes the story would last multiple days.
And it was bigger than my life.
And I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
And like halfway through, you're like, all right, so then you die, but that doesn't make sense.
No, because you're here telling it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's how I got my eyelids tattooed.
Yep.
One of my best friends working back in the day had his eyelids tattooed.
I knew an eyelid tattoo guy too.
And at first, he was terrifying because he was like this big, tall dude covered in tattoos. He had like knuckle tattoos, eyelid tattoos.
Did they say something?
I can't remember what it said.
Damn.
But every time I'd see him blink, I'm like, what the fuck's on your eyes?
What were they?
I don't remember. I think it was other eyes.
Okay. I mean, that's...
But he's like, yeah, one time when I got drunk, I just did it. And I'm just like, you tattooed your eyelids when you were... Like, dude, that's so close to your eyes.
Yeah, I don't know.
And now that guy's a dad.
God,
He was cool as fuck, though.
First thing that baby saw, though, was eyes, blink, blink.
Yeah. He's like, whoo.
My dad never closes his eyes.
My dad's an owl. That's what I was trying to do too. But speaking of stories, I've had this note on my phone for a while.
Okay.
Because you said you would mention it a few episodes ago, but you never told the full story on the podcast.
Oh shit.
Why you don't like green olives?
Oh shit.
Because of a nun or something?
Yeah, okay.
So you never officially told, because we were doing like a blind ranking with olives, and you said, I'll tell us later.
Fuck, okay. I'll try and get it right. Because I am almost positive I've told the story on the podcast before, but you say I have.
I don't think so. I think you mentioned it like real quick, but I don't think you
I think early on I did once.
Okay,
maybe.
but I don't remember. So that means the listeners don't remember. The listeners probably know.
Except for the one person who started that episode 1 like 2 weeks ago, and he finally made it to here.
And he's like, I've been waiting. But also, we're in episode 1 a lot.
To what?
131, 131 or something. So obviously we've said the same thing more than once.
Yes. There are no
I used to be a carpenter, okay?
Right.
I think that was early on. We talked about our jobs a ton.
Yeah.
But there's so many stories, dude. That was most of our life.
Right, yeah, and we'll find new ones, I'm sure. Or like ones we just didn't remember. But yeah, okay. So I don't think I have it anymore, really, because I'm also able to eat black olives now. I still have yet to eat a green olive, but
I thought it was just green olives. Okay,
it is just green olives, but like black
but
olives,
I used ruined olives for you.
Yeah,
general?
but now I eat it just because
black olives. I like black olives.
Well, the coworker who buys things a lot, he really likes black olives. So anytime, like if he buys a pizza, I don't ask for anything specific because I don't want to.
Because then he'll be like, "You owe me pizza."
Yeah, I'm just aware that there will be black olives.
So he gets like a supreme.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I used to like hate Supreme Pizza because like mushrooms and all that stuff. But I've
I like
started to eat it and I started to like them.
Pretty good,
I'm
yeah.
not going to ever put it on myself.
Right. And like,
if I order pizza.
if there's like a chunk of them, I'll pick a few off because I don't want it just to taste like that.
No, but if it's like evenly spaced up, it's fine.
Yeah. Per
Yeah,
bite.
covered in
fine.
cheese, yeah.
I don't care. Yeah. But so yeah, I did have what I would consider an actual phobia of green olives. If they were like visible in the room, they would make me uncomfortable.
Yikes.
Yep.
Why? Because they look like eyes?
So this story starts, I would have had to be 4 or 5, I would guess, at this time, because it was in Cedar Rapids. And I only lived there for a small part of my life because I went to Germany, Cedar Rapids for like
then
a year,
Des Moines.
and then West Des Moines.
Because you moved in with family to
Yeah,
transition.
and I think we were maybe we were there for 2 years. We had our own house, but also we lived in like my aunt's basement, I think.
Okay, yeah.
I always forget like those times.
But also that for your parents, that's like they were just going through a tough.
They were younger than I am now.
Yeah, and they had 3 kids at that
And
point.
they just came back from Europe.
Yeah, which is
I would have
wild.
to stay in somebody's
Yeah.
basement for a while.
And they were 21.
Yeah.
At least they weren't doing meth.
I think they were like 24 and 25.
Yikes. Yeah, I guess the 3 kids by that point. Yeah.
Because I think they had. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the time is, but yeah, they were like middle to late 20s and had 3 kids and just came back from Europe. We were Catholics back then. And it was one of those churches where I think the kids went somewhere else for a bit. Or I was signed up for
there's Sunday school.
Well, there's Sunday school, but also like I know other churches I've been to have been like, and if kids want to go to this area, and they like do a more hands-on learning kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Or this was maybe like a preschool thing at the church. Either way, I was left alone with only kids and then nuns.
Like real nuns.
I'm
'cause
sure
they were
a priest came in and out at times, but I do not remember the comings and goings.
Well,
Or the coming.
the
Yes.
priest wasn't into you.
I was adorable.
Yeah, but they were probably cuter kids.
I don't know. Me as a child, I think a priest would eat that up.
Yeah, but also, are they going for the most cutest or the most willing?
That's true. I was a prude back then.
Yep.
Yeah. Either way.
Fuck.
So there was snack time at whatever this was. That's why I don't know like exactly what of those scenarios it was, because they did have a snack time.
Okay.
And I don't know fucking why, but I do remember this. The snack of the day was green olives.
That was the snack?
Not a snack.
Yeah, olives aren't a snack at all.
No, but there might have been like cheeses and other shit, but either way, there was green olives a part of it. And a nun was like, "Oh, Jacob, why don't you try a green olive?" And I was like, "I don't like them." And she's like, "Have you ever had one?" I'm like, "Nope, but I don't like them." She's like, "Well, you wouldn't know if you don't have them." And I should have been like, "Well, I don't know about God, but I still believe in him." Like,
Yeah, you
we're
should've.
allowed to stick with our faith.
Yeah, we're allowed to be like,
our inner belief
stick
system
to our
is
gut.
valid. Yeah.
I just know I won't like it.
Yeah. And she's like, "Well, you have to lick it at least."
Lick it.
And then I was like, "I don't want to." And it became enough of the thing that the other children were now watching. And she's like, "You've better lick this green olive."
So that's even worse that she's
Yeah.
like not even just lick it.
Yeah. So
That's
like just to
disgusting.
taste it. And so now I have an audience of children, nuns, and God. And I have to taste this green olive.
That
and
looks like an eyeball.
Yeah. And I assume I pick it up because in my mind, I'm like, she's holding it in front of me. I'm sure I grabbed one. I licked it. I was like, "Yep, don't like it." And she's like, "Well, now you know." And everyone back to their day, and I was befuddled.
Whoa.
I was destroyed. The inner monologue was just screams.
Yeah, because you're like, what the fuck?
Just happened. And then that night, and I still remember this dream. It was olives became a parasite for aliens and took over humans.
Oh, shit.
If you ate them, you became like a zombie.
But you licked it.
Yep.
So you were like half?
I just remember that dream because I remember one of the olives was shaped like a truck to make my cousin eat it because he really liked trucks at the time. He was a year older than me, but that is a
So we ate a truck.
yeah. So that is a memory in that where I'm like, this all happened because I can picture that so clearly in my
Jesus.
dreams.
That's like-
and
that's-
I woke up screaming in my aunt's basement, and she lit out her cigarette and said, "Go back to sleep." 'Cause-
Did she have a smoker's voice?
yeah, yes, she did. I didn't actually sleep where she smoked, but that was the feeling of that house at that time.
Go back to sleep.
Yeah.
I wish I could do a smoker's voice. I picture when you were describing that, I pictured Mac's mom from It's Always Sunny.
Not far.
No, very close.
Younger.
Okay.
And like
but
hair,
still like,
hair that short, but a little nicer.
but still
literally
like
that hair.
and kind of mean.
Incredibly mean.
Oh, incredibly mean. Okay.
She tried to convince my mom to put me on growth drugs because I was such a small guy.
What?
Yeah, that's a memory I learned recently from my mom.
Oh my God.
Is
Your
that
mom
her
was like, no.
Her family tried to get me on like steroids or something as a 5-year-old. And they're like, he's too small, but his head's so big.
Look
She's
at me
the
now.
same voice as the nun. Still got a big head and a small body, but
God,
we're
looking
fine
in Olive.
in front of a crowd. And that
God.
gave me a pretty intense phobia.
Yeah.
I've
Because
yet-
it's not just like popping it in and you go, don't like it. But like,
Yeah. I've yet to have a dirty martini.
no.
I have never willingly eaten a green olive, but like I'm not like it's not a thing anymore. Same
I'll
with
eat like diced green olives on a pizza.
I would that would be a little harder for me,
Well, there's diced green olives on like Supreme Pizza.
but like not the ones I've had.
Oh, okay. Different ones. I
Like,
remember.
I read that at least.
Yeah,
Black olives I'll do, but
I like black olives.
never
I can
prefer-
pop black olives.
I will
whole.
never like eat one or like ask
Or
for it to
lick
be
it.
on. Yeah, I will certainly never lick it. But yeah, that is a strange memory from my childhood that doesn't feel real.
Do you think that nun is still alive?
No.
She was old.
She's been in hell for at least
Oh, she's been in hell.
8 years.
I remember when I used to work in the bakery, like the deli department was
Yeah.
like right in front of the bakery.
Do you guys
And
have like turf wars?
well, I had some fun with the deli,
Okay.
interpersonal.
Oh right, yeah,
Interper-
slapping some meat.
Yeah, but they back in the day they didn't give a fuck about germs or COVID or whatever.
Because COVID wasn't invented yet.
Yeah, ooh, conspiracy theory made in a lab.
We'll see.
Well, we'll see.
Maybe.
Well, I got the fucking bad shot. So did you?
Yeah.
The Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah, because we're poor.
But also,
They were all free.
I only did it so I could rock climb.
Well, I did it because it was one shot, and then we could
Yeah,
rock climb.
it was only one. I didn't
and
have
then
to-
I threw up so much, and I don't know if it was
And
from
I still
it.
got COVID 3 times. But it's just not real.
First time I threw up in front of Isabel.
Yeah, you almost died.
No one else had that experience, so I feel like it was like maybe I had the flu also that day.
I think it just hits people differently.
I got I like threw up so much and like shit myself in her tiny apartment.
and you're like shaking into the bathtub.
And I'm just like, I'm sorry. I remember like I took a bath, and you haven't seen this, but there's a moment in Harry Potter where Voldemort appears as like a baby, but like a dead baby, and he's like all bones and arms. I felt like that sitting in a tub.
Jesus Christ.
Post the image here. By the way, we are available on YouTube.
Yes, you can see video.
It will be exactly what you picture.
yeah, exactly.
I felt like that sitting in a bath in front of my like new girlfriend. And I just remember like saying, "I'm so sorry,"
Oh my God.
and like you have to leave. And it was her apartment.
But you're like, I can't stop this.
Yeah,
I
like, it's
feel
happening.
terrible. But going back.
yeah, that's when I got my COVID shot.
Yeah.
It's all right. I think people are still getting them.
Yeah, my grandpa's like all about the booster. And I'm just like, whatever.
I don't know. If I feel bad, I just won't hang out with old people.
Also, I got so sick and it wasn't COVID.
Yeah,
so.
the one you gave me, that.
Yeah. I was sick for a month.
Because I remember you texting me like, "Hey, something's hitting me and it's bad," and then Izzy and I got it like the next day.
Yeah, because I remember it hit me the day we recorded our Christmas special 2 years ago.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, because I remember like playing with our race cars out in there, and I
Yeah.
was like starting to get a headache, but I was like, maybe I just drank too much or something, you know. But then I just downhill,
Destroyed
yeah,
us.
downhill, and I lost my voice because it was coughing so hard. But going back to when I worked in the bakery, the deli was there. It was before all of COVID and all that stuff. That was a distraction. But back in the day at the grocery stores, they used to have like open fucking like salad bars.
Yeah. Do you remember samples? I feel like those don't exist anymore.
They do it like Sam's Club and stuff.
But like Hy-Vee used to be able to get like 6 things
Every Saturday, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, so the deli on one side would have like samples of like crackers
Yep.
or like the honey mustard.
Those weird little dome things that you could reach
yeah.
in. Yeah.
But then on the other side, there would be a whole thing of olives.
Oh.
Like, and they'd be all the different varieties. There'd be black olives, green olives, fucking other ones.
What else is there?
Dude, there were massive ones. And every time I walked past, I'd go, ugh.
Yeah.
Because they just looked fucking, the olives that have, like, especially the green olives, where it's like an olive and then like
The red.
there's something inside of
Yeah.
it. Like, it looks like an eyeball.
Well, like, 'cause
and then
also
you
that
just
red
fucking
comes out,
scoop
right?
it with a fucking spoon. I'm
And
just
they're-
like, that's
And
disgusting.
they're just inherently slimy for
yeah,
some
and
reason.
then that would just sit open in the public.
yeah. Ah.
And then like, oh, people didn't buy today, put it back away, and then we'll take it back out and put it
Yeah,
out.
people won't know the difference.
Oh, dude, it was
That's why I'm
olives.
glad I steer cleared.
I like black olives because I remember like back in the day, my mom would make like tacos all the
Sure.
time, and like so we would take like a can of black olives and
Yeah.
just dump it into a can and put them on our tacos, and I'd always go like dink, dink.
Yeah. When I dated a vegan, that's like a good, I think, substitute for stuff.
Is it like a good protein?
I
or?
think so.
Okay.
Where like instead of like meat on a sandwich, it would be like an equivalent black olives.
That's a lot of black olives.
It's so many. Like it was literally like a bed of them.
Ugh. I mean, I still don't like. If I order pizza, I won't put olives on it. If
I'm designing my own thing, never.
Yeah, if I like go to a Subway or something,
Nope.
I won't put.
Nope. If it's an option, I will
But
never
if
choose it.
somebody does order that stuff for me and there is olives on it, I'm not. Unless it's like I open it, and it's like covered.
Yeah.
I'll still eat it.
Yeah, like I never need just multiple in a bite. I never need to eat a full olive.
Yeah, olives are gross, dude.
And I don't like. I know they come from a tree. Oil's made from them, I guess.
Olive oil.
Yeah.
I like olive oil, but why is it? Yeah, what is it?
I don't.
Is it a
know.
vegetable?
It's a Greek thing. It comes from a tree.
Is
so
it a fruit?
I think.
Ugh. I do have. Actually, real quick. Let's cut to a moist theater.
Yeah. For our Moist Movie of the Month listeners, here's an extra special treat.
Oh yeah.
Welcome back to Moist Theater.
Moist theater.
Here we will be performing a scene from the 1990 hit movie classic Tremors.
And this scene got deleted from the movie, I guess.
It's also the opening scene.
This is how the movie was supposed to open. I don't know why they deleted it. We haven't read through this.
Nope.
Jacob's going to be playing Old Fred.
Yeah, so to those of you who listened to our Moist Movie of the Month, we talked about the 1990 hit classic Tremors, and two of the characters were Old Fred and Edgar, who were barely in the movie.
Yes.
Turns out they were supposed to be the opening scene.
Which is wild because they both die.
So we are going to be performing this scene, and we don't know what happens in it.
Yeah, Jacob will be rating the action slugs, and then I'll be playing Edgar, and he'll be playing Old Fred. Let's get into the opening scene of Tremors.
All right. Page 1. Exterior. Desert Valley. Day. The high desert absolutely silent. A vast, hard landscape stretching away to distant mountains. The silence is broken by hoofbeats.
Hoofbeats. Okay, cool.
Exterior Edgar's place. Day. It's a simple cabin dwarfed by a big ramshackle barn. Edgar Deems, in his 60s, a weathered desert rat of a hermit, is walking his donkey around in circles. Now, rattling towards them down an endless dirt road comes an old sun-bleached Buick.
Oh, I love Buicks.
It stops and out leans Old Fred, 70s, wearing a sweat-stained fedora.
Old Fred's older? I guess he's called
I
old.
guess,
He's called old.
yeah. The two friends nod. And I'm playing Old Fred. How's she doing?
She wants to lay down. I'm a little worried.
Old Fred climbs out with a bushel basket of carrots. Well, I brung her something I know she likes.
Damn, Fred. You can't give away all those.
Forget it. I got vegetables coming out my ears. Usually the varmints eat up half my crop, but lately I ain't so much as seen a gopher or a jackrabbit nowheres.
That's kind of a teaser.
Yeah.
Yeah. The worm's eating them. Mm-hmm. If that ain't the truth, and I count on them for a little bit of stew meat. Thank you, Fred.
Edgar takes the carrots and feeds one to the donkey.
Here you go, Justine. Look what Fred brought you.
We playing cards tonight?
I think I'm going to be sitting up with her.
I'd do the same. Well, catch you Thursday.
You bet.
The men nod and Old Friend drives off. Close up on the donkey's hooves, thumping along as Edgar leads her to the barn.
Let's get you out of the sun for a spell. Guess I'm alone now. I'll get you some fresh water.
But suddenly we hear the donkey restlessly stomping its hooves and braying. Edgar turns, concerned. Now we hear an odd sound. Distant thunder? The wind? The donkey gets more and more frantic. The barn shudders violently.
Oh, shit.
Frightened birds explode from the eaves. Dust puffs from every old seam. Roof shingles rain down. Edgar stares in amazement.
Some kind of earthquake?
Then another sound. The donkey starts screeching in wild panic.
Justine! Hang on! I'm coming!
Edgar races back to the barn and flings open the doors. Interior, Edgar's barn. Day. Dust swirls through the air, but the barn is empty.
Oh,
No donkey. Now Edgar is hit by a ghastly stench. He staggers back and covers his nose with a handkerchief. Then he sees splattered across the walls blood.
What in the name of Jehovah?
He raises his arms above the doorframe. When he lowers them, he's holding a 12-gauge shotgun.
Oh, yeah.
He races outside, ready to shoot. But there's nothing, as far as the eye can see.
What the fuck? And then this is where the official movie starts.
Yeah.
So that makes sense because Edgar is found. So
He's also found with, I thought, a Winchester rifle.
he's found with a rifle, climbed to the top of it.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing this scene happens and he runs.
It's the idea that this happened a few days prior.
Yeah, and then he dies of dehydration.
Yeah.
So he doesn't even die by a worm.
No.
Doesn't that suck?
Yeah,
He
well,
was
'cause-
so scared.
But you know what's ironic? After we're buried, we're all worm food.
Yeah, that's true. Ain't nothing but a thing.
And thank you for enjoying another Moist Theater production.
Hey, let me know what you thought of our accents. Bow. Speaking of Moist Movie of the Month, we just talked about Tremors, so check it out if you haven't. But announcing May's Moist Movie of the Month,
So many M's.
the Arnold classic that I don't honestly think I've ever seen.
I've only loosely seen it.
This month, we're doing Total Recall.
Hell yeah.
I'm excited for this.
1990s classic again.
Wow, we're fucking 35-year-old movie.
Yeah, that's wild.
Insane.
He was governor for a while of California.
Arnold's badass because I just watched Terminator. We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
Dude, he's so good.
God, Mr. Universe.
Yeah, and he was a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
He lived a life. And he still looks great.
From Czech Republic, I think?
Something.
No, Austria.
Austria, yeah,
Definitely
from
Austria.
Austria,
Yeah, for sure.
But make sure you watch Total Recall. Send us your emails, moistmoneypodcast@gmail.com, so then you can be a part and then potentially win a pint glass.
Yeah.
But we're going to review that at the end of May. So
Stay tuned for
stay
that.
tuned for that. But real quick, before we go, I do have an update on an earlier thing that we talked about.
Okay.
Vincent the Cat.
Yeah, right.
So a few episodes ago, I almost got a cat.
Right.
By-
you let one into your home.
By finding it because
It found you.
because there was a cat roaming around my apartment complex, which my apartment complex doesn't allow animals. So, what the heck?
Yeah.
I live
Something
on
happened.
I live on the third floor.
And it's like a more like motel style where like there's hallways, but they're outside.
It's all outside. So like,
This cat was 3 stories up and outside.
yeah. So real quick story
around.
recap. I ordered food. I saw it. I was like, don't come in my apartment. And then I ate the food, took a nap, and then I woke up from my nap and I still heard it whining. It was raining outside. So I finally let it in my apartment. It was all cold and wet and it was roaming around going crazy,
You
fucking
named it.
stuff. I named it Vincent, Vince for short.
Right.
Because I was like, what do I do with this? I was freaking out. I was calling people. I was like,
Yeah.
what am I
You
supposed to
called
do?
Izzy?
Yeah, because I was like, what am I supposed to do? And then, so I was like, it did have a caller, but I tried calling the phone number, nothing. So I just let it back outside. And then I got ready to come over and do a podcast, and then the cat was gone.
Yeah. Which
And
is kind of what you hope for, is that it would just go.
But I was
home.
like, what happened to it?
Sure.
So then, a few days later, I'm getting ready to leave, and I walk down the 3 floors, 3 floors of steps, and I'm on the main floor, and there's like a little bit of grass because we have like a pool area, and I look over, and the cat's roaming in the grass, and I go, oh hey, and I do like the. Like, and I start flicking my fingers back and forth, and it looks at me and just keeps doing its thing. Doesn't
Ooh,
give a fuck.
good for it.
Doesn't give a fuck about
Ooh,
me. And
it's
I'm
better than you.
And I'm just like, oh, you don't remember me. I tried saving your life, but you obviously don't care.
So it probably does that every day.
Yeah, so I'm guessing it's an outdoor cat. So then, a few days later,
It's got a collar though.
I know, but like the number was disconnected. So then but it's a kitten.
Yeah. Yeah, it was small.
So then a few days later, I leave my apartment again on the third floor. It's right there.
It didn't remember.
It's right outside my door. But again, just kept walking.
Oh.
And then like my neighbor has like a doormat.
Yeah.
Just stopped and scratched his claws
Sure.
on the doormat and then just kept
Continue.
walking.
Good for
and I
that
was
cat.
like, so this cat's just roaming around.
What a good life. Although, do you want to know something wild?
Yeah.
So Charlie was an
outdoor-
outside cat, and then we took him in just because he kept showing up, and we like did all the like chipped or see if he was chipped, post it online. No one said anything, so we kept him. And like we've talked about like the idea of an indoor outdoor cat, but we have 3 other cats, so it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
But then I looked up the average lifespan of a cat, which is like 18 years. I
Yeah,
think
it's pretty long.
Or I think that's like old age, so
Yeah.
probably like 15 to 18. Average lifespan of an outdoor cat, 2 to 3.
Years?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So apparently they drop like fucking flies.
well, it's because they're getting attacked by predators
And,
and,
like,
also
cars,
But
yeah.
they probably love it.
It's got to be a good 2 to 3 years, but still.
But this guy's a kitten, so I feel bad for him. So then I saw
I
him
bet
like
he has an owner.
But there's a collar, but also like I live in an apartment complex near another apartment complex and then another apartment complex. There are houses across the street, so maybe it's one of those.
Could be anything.
It could be, but also somebody could have this cat that lives in the apartment and is just like whatever.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck.
So we've taken in one cat. There have been at least 5 other alley cats, two of which like we've like fed and like hung out with outside.
I saw one earlier.
Yeah, one walks down the street.
But being in an apartment complex, it's weird. And
Yeah,
and this
there's
is the
too many options.
And this is the icing on the cake.
Yes.
So I did all that, saw him twice, and then I forgot about him. And then last night, I'm coming home from Wes's house. So I'm driving in my car, pull up in my parking lot, and in the parking area, I see Vincent.
Oh, that pissed me off.
His fucking small little body.
Yeah.
Come running from like we have like garages on the left side.
Okay.
Come running from the garages, cutting over, and just ran back into the apartment complex, just like And then when I got in my car, I tried looking for him. He was gone, and I was like, "So you're just out here living,
Just hanging out?"
And that was weeks ago. And I'm just like, "But you seem like you're fine and happy, and you're getting fed."
So you see him probably like once a week.
Yeah,
That's nice.
but I'm just like, "Are you?" I'm worried that someone's gonna run over him.
Sure. Yeah.
Or like a fucking hawk's
That's
gonna,
how I feel about this.
yeah. Because I was coming up with headlights because it was nighttime, and he just strolling.
I hate when I see a local cat cross the street.
And they have outdoor cats have no fucks.
No.
They don't. Dude, even when I brought him in an apartment, he was
Someone
like,
carrying a bird the other day.
oh my God.
Yeah.
But even when I brought him in my apartment, he was like, why am I inside?
Yeah.
Like he wanted to go outside.
Yeah, just worse.
And I'm just like, I just feel bad because I'm like, you were a cute small cat, you know?
Right, you can always leave like food and water out your door. So
I
he'll
did
maybe
leave water out that one time.
I mean, I can give you some food. You can leave
But
it
I'm
out.
just like, I don't want him to be like, I don't know. What if he has an owner?
Well, he'd just hang out by your door at times.
But then I would just feel even worse because I'm like, come inside, be mine. I already named you.
You could work on that.
That's the problem. Is I already named him.
Yeah,
And he probably has a different name.
When Izzy named Charlie, that was all right.
That's what makes it real.
Well, because he had come by and like every day we had hung out with him outside for a while,
Yeah.
and then when she said like, "Well, I've named him," I was like, "All right, he can," because I let him sleep in like the front room
Just to get comfortable, yeah.
because it was October, so we were like, he might have a home. Let's keep him here tonight, and then if he runs away in the morning, that's okay. So we opened the door and he did run out.
Yep.
We we're like, all right, he might be going to where he's supposed to be, but then right when night happened, he came back. And that was like the test of like, all right, well, then we'll keep him.
Yep.
And we'll be mindful of it. But even like, probably like a few months later, because it was spring at this point, he escaped once because he like fell out of a window.
Yeah.
Because we used to let them have the windows open at
With
night.
screen, yeah.
Yeah. And he popped out the screen and fell out, or he pushed.
He probably pushed.
Yeah.
Because
And
he
so-
likes the freedom.
yeah, because he was gone for a full day, but then he came back that night. So we were like, all right, you're
All right, well,
ours,
yeah,
and you
you're
can't
ours.
do,
Yeah,
you can't
keep
be outside
you
anymore.
keep coming back, yeah.
Yeah. It's your own fault.
But he probably misses exploring and fucking finding things.
Yeah, but when I looked up the
He'll
life,
live- yeah.
when I looked up the lifespan, I was like, I don't give a
That's
shit.
insane.
Yeah,
2 to 3 years.
That means like statistically, it'd be very likely he'd be dead right now.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
like, all right, well, you're better here. Fuck off. He's fine.
Man, this guy's like a kitten, dude.
Yeah,
I just like
that's why I'm saying you could leave food out and just keep track of him.
I just feel bad. But I don't know. He has a collar and
He does have a collar with a number that was disconnected.
but also like when he did come into my apartment,
Yeah.
when I opened the door for him, he sprinted out.
yeah,
You know, so it's like he wanted to be outside.
yeah.
And like every time I've tried to interact with him outside, he doesn't want me.
Maybe he remembers that you're the one who kept him for a night, or
he's-
for a few
Yeah,
hours.
because I had him for a few hours. And yeah, he was like, get the fuck away from me. You didn't give me shit.
Yeah, so I'd say you could just leave out food and water and keep track of him.
Yeah. But then I'm like, I don't want people to think that that's my cat.
That's true.
Because then they're like, hey, get your cat off my fucking doorstep. It's not mine. It's like one time I went on a run. Sorry, we're going on a tangent right now. But one time I went on a run a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I lived in this apartment complex, but I was on the bottom floor.
Yeah.
But I was on a run and I was out running. And then like this fucking dog, dogs scare me. This fucking dog started running with me. Loose.
What kind of dog?
It's a smaller dog, but I don't know, like a half pit. So kind
Okay.
of a scary looking
Like
dog.
had the ball head?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like bigger.
Sure.
but started running with me, and I was like, what the fuck?
But like friendly to you?
To me, but it was running alongside me. And I'm running in residential streets.
So everyone's going to just assume it's your dog.
Exactly. And this is what happened. So I was running, and I was turning down the street because I was like trying to get in shape, you know? And there was this lady across the street that got out of her car, and the dog just left me and went after her and started chasing her. And she was screaming, and she goes, come get your dog. And I go, it's not mine. It's not. And she was freaking out because the dog was being aggressive to her. And I was like, this is not my dog. So I kept, and she was like, no, and she was freaking the fuck out. And I was like, what do you want me to do? So I eventually ran over and grabbed him by his collar, but I was like, this isn't my dog. It followed me. Yeah, I grabbed the dog. So I pulled it along and then kept running. It kept following me. So then I was like, well, I got to do a loop. And then I passed this house, so that all, and I'm trying to fucking run, and this is like distracting me.
You've never told me this story.
Oh, I've never told you this?
No.
I feel like I would have told you this immediately. No, it fucking, she like was gonna pee her pants. She was freaking
She
out.
would have called the cops on you.
And I'm just like, no, it's not mine. But I get that I take responsibility. I get it.
That's so funny.
So then I'm running along, and I did a circle to try and get like this dog back into his neighborhood,
hoping it just
goes back. But then there was this house. It's kind of near where I live. It's a little bit up a hill, but they have fucking chickens.
Fuck.
And like the guy was out in the back, and the dog just ran up and just started like getting, and he's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, it's not my dog. And I'm like trying to jog. I'm wearing like headphones.
You were being a good person.
And it's like up a hill in this person's yard. And I'm like, it's not mine. Quit. Like, I'm just like, whose dog is this? And I don't know why it was friendly to me, but angry towards everybody else.
It's so funny.
And I eventually was like, hey, come on. Like, I had to like quit running. And I had to take care of it.
Well, and so this person's like, yeah, that's his fucking dog.
And I'm like, but it's not my dog. And then I eventually like got near the neighborhood, and the owner was out, and it's like, hey, and the dog sprinted back.
Oh my God.
And I was like, dude, you caused me. I didn't talk to him at all, but I was like, I'm never running this route again.
You caused me so many issues.
I've never ran past that house ever
so
again.
Funny.
And this was years ago. Dude, it sucked. The fact that it happened twice, and I maybe ran 2.5 miles.
There was an old lady, and then chickens and a dude.
Yeah, dude, and it was like everyone was so scared by it because this dog is loose, running, and like he just wanted to play, but he was being aggressive.
Right? Yeah.
But I was like, it's not mine.
It's so funny.
And I'm trying to listen to music in headphones. Like
you were trying to be a good you that day.
I was just trying to ignore it, but it just kept because I run slow. He just was teaming up with me. And it kept like looking over me with like his tongue was like hanging out. Just like happy.
Like, look what we're doing.
We're out for a run.
Yeah,
and I was like, I don't know you. Like, this dog didn't have a name to me, so I didn't give a fuck.
It's like when like that weird person at a party latches on to you.
And it's just like,
but then he talks loudly to other people. And like, it's not my friend.
No, I didn't bring this guy. Like, he just talked to me first, and people are like eyeballing you, and it's like, get this guy away from me. Like, I don't know him. I was just nice to him. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that is so funny. God damn, you should have said that at the top of the podcast.
Well, you reminded me of it.
I know, that's one of my favorite stories you've ever told. Which you and I talked about this. This feels like an early podcast.
It does. This feels like an early episode.
You'll have to clip these.
Because stories. But this has been the Moist Monday Podcast. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of it. Make sure you follow us on Instagram.
Oh, I hope you guys made it to the end.
TikTok and Threads. Send us an email, moistmoneypodcast@gmail.com. Make sure you watch Total Recall. What else can you
May
do?
Moist Movie of the Month.
Share with your friends. Rate us 5 stars on all the podcast apps.
Just try and
subscribe
enjoy
us on
us.
YouTube. And if you're out running,
Watch out.
yeah. Like what was I supposed to do?
And if you've thought horrible things to yourself, don't tell other people.
Yeah.
Or tell a therapist, and that's it. Like,
you're allowed to have bad thoughts. It's when you make actions on them.
Don't burden it on other people to try to get forgiveness from them.
I have so many fucked up thoughts, and I'm like, why do you think that?
Yeah, and
you
then
move on.
Dude, you are a victim of your own thoughts.
Yeah.
Often.
My brain's fucked up.
That's what suicide is. I don't know, I guess, but still.
Probably.
Like, that is like your brain's working actively against you, and that fucking sucks. But don't bring randoms into it.
Yeah. That's all I can say. I'm still getting flashbacks of that dog. I was so paranoid.
That's
and it was like a Saturday
so
morning.
happy.
I was like,
No, like you actively chose to have a good
I woke
day.
up early to get exercise.
You were setting yourself up for the best day.
And then I caused 2 people in my neighborhood fucking stress.
Trauma.
And I'm sure they're still telling those stories.
Yeah, no, that guy is worried about that dog at all times from his chicken.
And that dog lived like a block away from him. So he probably sees it again and he's like, where the fuck's that guy you were running with? Not me. I run a different route now.
And this has been the Moist Monday podcast.
Well, cheers, buddy.
I love you.
Love you too. Bye, everybody.
Dry bones, lazy bones, big bones, dance around in your bones.